guys, and welcome back to my corner of the internet. If you are new here, then my name is Mariah, also known as Live Life's Beauty, and I'm so glad that you have found me. And if you're on 10 subscriber, then thank you so much for joining me again on another video. For all of you that are new and old, happy 2025. If you are new here, then basically on this channel, we were just living our best lives in 2024, creating so many healthy hobbies. We did decide on 3 healthy hobbies to start in 2024, and that was sewing, crochet, and crafts. And then sewing quickly took a backseat just because of the time demands that it required from me. And then towards December, I really started to slow down a bit. I intended to film my kids' Christmas pajamas and get some videos out to you guys. So I had so many Christmas gifts, DIYs that I wanted to do, and I did end up doing, but I just couldn't film it for you guys. And so I decided to take the whole of December off and really get to know my sewing machine and for us to become friends. And then I would come back to you in January. So what I will say is that trying to get to know my sewing machine, I did. The friends part, I'm not so sure about. But long story short, I attempted to make my kids their Christmas pajamas, and my sewing machine was just not having any of it. So I did have 2 types of fabric. I did have a stretch velvet, and I did have a fluffy roll kind of material because I decided to make my daughter some dressing gowns because they didn't have any. Found some blankets on sale and I decided, you know what, this is like perfect to make some dressing gowns out of. I found a lovely tutorial that looked nice and easy for me as a beginner, and I got cutting away and I got sewing away. Now, this sewing machine is from Hobbycraft in the UK. It's, I would say, a mid-range sewing machine, not too cheap, not too expensive, and it did say that it was capable of going through 4 layers of denim. I'm not sure if they're 4 or 2. I don't want to be a liar. I was thinking, okay, as a beginner, that's great to have. If you are new here, then it did stay in the box for quite some years because I just never got around to sewing with my pregnancy, having a newborn, and then having a toddler. So December, it really had its debut. It was doing good at first. It was getting through the stretch velvet. It was getting through the blanket material. And then all of a sudden, it just decided that it was not having it. I'm going to show you what I managed to accomplish. I managed to accomplish this t-shirt for my daughter, which is still unfinished just due to the fact that when we were getting to the more bulkier tones on the inside, where you can see it's kind of like 4 layers instead of just 2 together, my machine was just not having it. It really struggled, and I was quite surprised because it said it could go through denim. So I was like, why is it struggling for this? Nowhere near as thick as 2 layers of denim. Then again, with the dressing gown, I was just so close, and I'm really angry because again, like a beautiful dressing gown, it was not having it when we came to these arms. Like, it did the sides fine, just straight up and down, and then I was just having trouble after trouble trying to get over these seams when we got to the armholes, which I then ended up just hand sewing. And then at the bottom, it already had a hem, so I just used that, and it was crunching. Like, it was crunching through here. You could hear it. It was not sounding great at all. But I thought, okay, we're just going to persevere. Like, it's not that thick for it to be, like, struggling. And then when we got to this side of closing the seam, it just said no. And basically, we have some more to basically stitch up. So we still have some to stitch up at the bottom. With that sewing machine, it is under warranty for 2 years. So I did look back through my receipt, and I'd only had the sewing machine for, I think it was coming up to a year and a half. So I did take it in. The people there said they couldn't find anything wrong with it. However, I'm just not happy with it because I'm living in the climate that I live in, and now knowing the things that I want to sew, it just was not my friend. So with that being said, we still have some projects to finish off, and we are going to be finishing them off, but just not with this machine. We all know Christmas has come and gone. And with Christmas, there is always the Boxing Day sales. And in the Boxing Day sales, I did pick up this, guys. I have picked up the Singer Heavy Duty 4423. I'll put it back down now. I did pick that up from Hobbycraft, and again, that comes with a 2-year warranty. It was originally £290, and then it got reduced to £260. So I thought, you know what? I am going to snap that up. What made me actually get a new sewing machine rather than just scrap sewing was that when that machine was in for repair, I just kept thinking about all the projects that I wanted to do and all the projects that I could have made. Like my daughter had a Christmas party and I managed to get some really cute and cheap material to make her party dress, but I didn't have a sewing machine, so that just didn't happen. But because I was thinking about it so much and because I knew that I really wanted to continue sewing this year, I decided to purchase that new. As you know, last year I did have a lot of hobbies and I did decide to turn my cooking crafts into a business, which started and stopped. And I've really decided that sewing is the one that is going to be for me, strictly a hobby. I'm not going to style anything. I'm not going to make anything for anybody except for myself and my children. And I'm really just going to have fun with it and just have it for me. I really enjoyed making those projects up until my machine decided that I couldn't anymore. And I really felt a sense of accomplishment that I managed to do it. I'm so proud of this dressing gown. It's not even finished, and I'm so excited for it to be finished and to get started on the second month for my second daughter. So I'm looking forward to this year of sewing and making sewing my number one hobby. With that being said, we are now going to talk about how I'm going to go about sewing, because whilst I dabbled into it last year, I basically just bought anything and everything. I didn't know anything about sewing. I didn't know fabrics. I didn't know the different textures, the different fibers, the different stitches, the different uses of a machine or garment making versus accessories, which did lead me into thinking, what is it that I actually want to make with sewing? I did have a look at my wardrobe, so the styles of clothes that I really want to promote and wear. One of the things that I did was really think about what my style is. Now, I don't just have one style. I know a lot of people like to niche themselves into, feminine, sportsy, loungewear, all of these categories. But I just really want to elevate my style. Depending on the season, it really depends on what I like to wear. So in the colder months, I like to be a little bit more edgy. And in the summer months, when it is hot and sunshiny, I do like to be a bit more cutesy. I've decided that whilst I would love to be a dress and skirts person, that's just not me. Because I do live in a climate that is very wet and rainy and cold. I was Great Britain and it's very cold. For me, anyway. I mean, you definitely see some people wearing shorts in the rain, but I'm not one of them. I really looked at what it is that I want to make and what fabrics I would be using on my sewing machine, and those were the kind of thicker fabrics. That's also what led me to press to my Singer sewing machine. I do have a style that I'm after. I really do like fitted clothing. I'm definitely not the most curviest body type. I don't really know what body shape I am, but I would refer to myself as a rectangle. Just straight up and down, don't have a lot of boobs, don't have a lot of bump, but I do have a waist. I mean, I do also have a belly, but for the most part, it is going down. So, I do like things fitted just to, really control the belly and suck it in. I don't really like things that cut under the boob and then puff out. I think it makes me look a little bit childish, and if I'm not, done up, I can definitely look like a teenager. The same with jumpers or tracksuits. I am definitely thinking about the cuts. I do like V-necks and I do like no cuts. So when I'm looking for patterns, I am definitely being drawn towards those because, again, before I knew anything, I'm just buying any pattern that looked good on sale at the charity shops and that hadn't been cut. And I was just like, oh yeah, that will do. And then when I'm looking at it, I'm like, actually, this is not my style. This is not clothing that I want to wear. This is not clothing that I want to make. And I don't want to be wasteful. with, the things that I'm buying. So just looking at, the style that I'm trying to make. So the third thing is fabric, because, you cannot make garments without fabric. And again, I was just definitely one of those, oh my goodness, this is so pretty, pick it up and buy it without really knowing what the material was used for. Like when I was on my Christmas pajama shopping, I was looking at a lot of the cottons, and there was nothing wrong with the cottons. They were very beautiful and pretty. However, that just wasn't the kind of pajamas that I wanted to make. I really wanted to make t-shirt kind of pajamas, which needed to have some stretch in them. And again, I didn't know about that. So when I was going fabric shopping, that really taught me a lot, just to go there and see and feel the fabric and really have an understanding of what kind of fabrics work best for what kind of garments. Because honestly, that is a major key. And again, with fabrics is colorway. So I have chosen a color palette that I want in my wardrobe. I am trying to steer away from black. I think black is most people's favorite color. And I do want to have a bit more color variety in my wardrobe, but I don't want it to be overpowering. So I definitely decided that I want to have pops of color, and that I'm going to stick into the more jewel tone colors and the more rich colors. That's like deep olives, deep burgundies, royal blues, navies, kind of colors like that. I really love red. That's just like my color at the moment. I don't know why, but yeah, a deep red, I just absolutely loving. But also vibrant enough for my skin color. So whilst I know other people, it might look like a deep red of my skin color, it will be like a vibrant red. And I definitely have been watching this YouTuber. I will leave her here because off the top of my head, I can't think of her name. She has definitely been a help to me with just finding my personal style, honestly, because before this, I didn't really have a personal style. Partly due to having a baby, and partly due to not being the size that I wanted. I didn't want to make clothes for myself, knowing that I want to be that style. And just following a lot of fashion girlies that are my skin tone, because I'm not really, up on my colours. Like I said, I just think fabric. I like fabrics. And then when I would kind of put them up against, I'll be like, oh, this is not good for me, of my skin tone. So those are some of the points that I have taken into consideration whilst starting my sewing journey. It is January, as you know, New Year, and I'm really excited to kick it off, get my feet wet in December, but I'm definitely trying to make this a lifelong journey in January and not just be dipping my toes in, because as I said, when I didn't have my machine, I actually really missed it, and I really wanted to accomplish my clothes that I was making, because I was very proud of how they were turning out. Even though they are definitely not the best, they were still making me proud. So I am excited to go on this journey, and I'm excited to have you here. As always, my channel is just a documentary channel. It's definitely something for me to look back on in the future and see how far I've come, because I'm definitely enjoying documenting. And I'm just hoping you guys are as I progress, I'll definitely show you guys my makes and definitely take you along with me on making those more lifestyles than tutorials. But thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for sticking around and making 2025 a wonderful year of crafting and sewing. But with that being said, do not forget to leave the last video, because life is beautiful and it's out there waiting. It's by you, and hopefully I will see you in another video. Bye.